The end is near. The apocalyptic prophecies hidden in the Bible and a book of Enoch that will shake in your faith. Introduction: the call of prophecies in times of crisis. Since the dawn of humanity, prophecies have been a source of fascination, fear, and hope. In the Bible, texts like the Apocalypse of John, Daniel, and Ezekiel have inspired generations of believers, while apocryphal writings like the Book of Enoch have added layers of mystery to the visions of the end times. In 2025, with a world shaken by natural disasters, social polarization, and technological advancements that challenge ethics, apocalyptic prophecies are more relevant than ever. Are these the signs of the fulfillment of the price, or simply a reflection of our own collective anxiety? These texts do not seek to impose beliefs, but to explore the hidden messages in the scriptures and ancient texts, connecting them with their present and analyzing their impact on faith and human curiosity. From the warnings about the Antichrist to the visions of celestial wars in the Book of Enoch, we will unravel the enigmas that have intrigued theologians, scholars, and truth seekers for centuries. Whether you are a believer seeking to strengthen your faith, or a curious person attracted to the unknown, this journey will keep you on the edge of your seat. The Book of Enoch, a forbidding text that reveals cosmic secrets. The Book of Enoch, an apocryphal text excluded from the official biblical canon, is one of the most enigmatic sources on apocalyptic prophecies. Attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, this Jewish text from the 3rd century BC offers a detailed vision of celestial events, divine judgments, and the destiny of humanity. Although it is not part of the Bible accepted by most Christian denominations, its influence on Judaism and early Christianity is undeniable, and its descriptions of fallen angels, the end times, and the Messiah have captured the imagination of millions. What does the Book of Enoch say? The Book of Enoch is divided into 5 main sections, each addressing aspects of the cosmos, morality, and the final destiny. Some key points include the Watchers and the fallen angels. Enoch describes the Watchers, a group of angels who descended to earth, united with human women, and engendered the Nephilim, hybrid beings who corrupted creation. This account, which finds echoes in Genesis 6:1-4, shows that the sin of the Watchers triggered divine judgment, including the flood. Could these stories be a warning about the intervention of supernatural forces in our current world? Visions of the end times. Enoch recounts visions of a final judgment where the righteous are saved and sinners face divine wrath. He describes the Son of Man, a messianic figure who will judge the nations, a concept that many Christians relate to Jesus. These visions echo the prophecies of Daniel 7 and the Apocalypse, suggesting a divine plan that spans time. The Kingdom of Heaven. The text offers detailed descriptions of the heavens, angels, and the throne of God, providing a rich cosmology that has inspired both theologians and mystics. Enoch travels through the 7 heavens, a concept that influenced later traditions, including Islam and Jewish mysticism. Why was it excluded from the canon? Despite its antiquity, the Book of Enoch was considered apocryphal by religious authorities due to its esoteric content and lack of verifiable historical authenticity. However, its impact is evident. The New Testament directly quotes Enoch in Jude 1:14-15, and its ideas about angels and the final judgment permeated the thought of the time of Jesus. For many, its exclusion responds to an effort to simplify Christian doctrine, but its teachings continue to be a source of inspiration for those seeking hidden messages about the end. Hidden messages in the Bible, the prophecies of the Apocalypse. The Bible, as the sacred book of Christianity, is full of prophecies that have fueled speculations about the end times. The book of Revelation, written by John in the 1st century, is the apocalyptic text par excellence, full of symbolic images, mystical numbers, and warnings about the destiny of humanity. But beyond Revelation, books like Daniel, Isaiah, and Matthew contain messages that many interpret as fulfilled or imminent prophecies. The Apocalypse of John, a vision of the end. The Apocalypse describes a series of catastrophic events that precede the return of Christ. The seals, trumpets, and bowls. The book details 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls of God's wrath, which bring plagues, wars, and natural disasters. For example, the 4th seal, Revelation 6-7-8, speaks of death riding a pale horse, unleashing famines and plagues. Many relate these images to modern crises, such as pandemics and global conflicts. The Antichrist and the Beast. Chapter 13 presents the beast and its mark 666, interpreted as the Antichrist, a figure who will deceive the nations. Theologians have debated whether the Antichrist is a person, a political system, or an ideology, and some link it to historical figures or current trends like globalization. The return of the Messiah, the climax of the Apocalypse, is the second coming of Christ, who defeats the forces of evil and establishes a new heaven and a new earth through Revelation 21. This promise of redemption is the heart of Christian hope, but also raises questions. What will happen? Are we seeing the signs, prophecies in the Old Testament? The book of Daniel is another pillar of apocalyptic prophecies. In Daniel 7, the prophet sees 4 beasts representing earthly kingdoms, culminating in the establishment of God's kingdom. The vision of the Son of Man, Daniel 7:13-14, is considered by Christians as a messianic prophecy fulfilled in Jesus. Additionally, Isaiah 24-27, known as the Little Apocalypse, describes a global judgment followed by divine restoration, a recurring theme in the scriptures. In the New Testament, Jesus also offers prophecies in Matthew 24, warning of wars and rumors of wars, false prophets, and the abomination of desolation. These words, combined with current events, lead us to wonder if we are in the last days, the Antichrist, a real figure or a symbol. The concept of the Antichrist is one of the most intriguing and debated in Christian theology. Although the term appears only in the epistles of John, 1 John 18, the idea of a final adversary who opposes God is present in the Apocalypse and in Daniel. But who is the Antichrist? Historical interpretations. Throughout the centuries, figures like Nero, Napoleon, and Hitler have been signaled as possible antichrists due to their oppressive actions. Today, some speculate about political leaders, technological systems such as artificial intelligence or globalist movements, the mark of the beast. The number 666, Revelation 13:18, is one of the most recognizable symbols of the Antichrist. Some interpret it literally as an economic or technological control system, for example, microchips or digital currencies, while others see it as a symbol of human imperfection in opposition to divine perfection, represented by the number 7, spiritual perspective. Many modern theologians suggest that the Antichrist is not necessarily a person, but a spiritual force that promotes deception and apostasy in a world where traditional values are questioned. This interpretation resonates with those who see a moral decline as a sign of the end, signs of the end times. What does the present say? Apocalyptic prophecies are often accompanied by signs that indicate the proximity of the end. Both the Bible and the Book of Enoch describe events such as wars, natural disasters, false prophets, and widespread moral decay. In 2025, many believers and scholars see parallels between these prophecies and current reality. Natural disasters, hurricanes, wildfires, and earthquakes have increased in frequency and intensity, echoing the plagues described in the Apocalypse. For example, Matthew 24-7 mentions earthquakes in various places as a sign. Global conflicts. Geopolitical tensions, from wars in Eastern Europe to disputes in the Middle East, evoke the wars and rumors of wars spoken of by Jesus. Technological advances, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and digital currencies have sparked ethical debates that some link to the mark of the beast. Could technology be the vehicle of the Antichrist? Moral decay. Many believers perceive a departure from Christian values in modern society, from secularization to the redefinition of ethical norms, as a fulfillment of 2 Timothy 3:1-5, which speaks of perilous times marked by selfishness and impiety. However, it is crucial to approach these signs with discernment. Jesus also stated in Matthew 24:36 that no one knows the day or the hour of the end, urging believers to remain vigilant without falling into sensationalist speculations. The role of faith in apocalyptic times. For believers, apocalyptic prophecies are not just warnings, but also a call to hope and action. The Bible and the Book of Enoch emphasize the importance of faith, prayer, and obedience to God in the face of the challenges of the end times. In Revelation 3:10, God promises protection to those who keep the word of his patience, while Enoch exhorts the righteous to remain steadfast before the judgment. In a world where prophecies can generate fear, religious leaders encourage focusing on love, compassion, and spiritual preparation. It's not about predicting the end, but about living each day as if it were the last, with faith and purpose, commented a pastor in a recent sermon. For the curious, these prophecies are an invitation to explore the great questions of existence. What does it mean to be human? Is there a divine purpose beyond history? Hidden messages, numerology, and biblical symbolism. The Bible is full of symbols and numbers that many interpret as hidden messages. For example, the number 7 represents divine perfection and appears repeatedly in the Apocalypse 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 churches. In the Book of Enoch, the 7 heavens reflect this idea of completeness. The number 666 associated with the beast. It contrasts with 7 and symbolizes human imperfection or rebellion against God. Symbolic images, the Lamb Christ, the dragon Satan, and the New Jerusalem are metaphors that invite a deeper reading. In Enoch, angels and the Nephilim represent the struggle between good and evil. These symbols not only enrich the narrative, but also challenge readers to seek meaning beyond the literal, connecting the prophecies with the human experience. The debate, fulfilled prophecies or subjective interpretations. The study of apocalyptic prophecies is not without controversy. While some see current events as the fulfillment of the scriptures, others caution against sensationalist interpretations. Skeptics argue that the prophecies are sufficiently ambiguous to be applied to any era, while believers insist that the signs are undeniable. The Book of Enoch, for example, has been criticized for its esoteric nature, but its defenders see it as a window into spiritual truths that complement the Bible. Similarly, the prophecies of the apocalypse have been interpreted in various ways, some as future events, others as allegories of spiritual struggle, and others as descriptions of first-century events. Conclusion: a call to reflection and hope. Apocalyptic prophecies, whether in the Bible or the Book of Enoch, are more than predictions of the end. They are a mirror of our deepest hopes, fears, and questions. In a world that seems on the brink of chaos, these visions invite us to reflect on our faith, our actions, and our place in the universe. Are we living in the last days? Is the Antichrist an imminent threat or a symbol of the challenges we face as humanity? For believers, these prophecies are a testament to God's sovereignty and the promise of redemption. For the curious, they are a portal to the mysteries of existence, where the divine and the human intertwine, Whatever your perspective, one thing is certain: the healing messages in the scriptures and ancient texts continue to resonate, challenging us to seek truth amidst uncertainty. And you, what do you think? Do you believe that the prophecies of the apocalypse and the book of Enoch are being fulfilled? What are the signs in today's world? Leave your opinion in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Do not miss more content that awakens your spirit and mind. The end may be near, but the search for truth begins now.